Yeah, I'm in trouble on Facebook. I put some pictures of my house with a few fall decorations, and everybody's went ballistic. I don't care. I don't care. School is back in session starting today. There's no kids on the street. It's cool in the house. I'm getting out a few things. I have to put a few things out early for you guys, give you ideas. Plus, I have to do my store early. And I didn't go full blown overboard with pumpkins and everything, but I did tuck a few orange pieces around. And you know, I have a lot of orange in my house already. I love the soft russet colors and the olive greens and the gold. So my house kind of looks like fall all year. But they're kind of upset with me in places, and I don't care. So I took all the pink from the summertime, all my pink rose dishes out of my kitchen window. And one of these days, I'm going to show you how I extended my sill on my window by putting two little brackets and a board across it to make it a little deeper so I could set things. And then I grabbed my Ajax orange dish soap, which I like to use in the fall. And I think there's another company that has orange dish soap, but I put it in my little cruets and I set it in the window just so the light shines through it. And honestly, I don't use that little cruet. I use my dish soap that's over on the side. But it's pretty and it's one of my favorite things to do in fall. So, of course, I've already got my fake greenery swag that's back there across the back of my window. So I tucked one of my fall swags in there, and I tucked a few of my pears. You know, I've got quite a collection of pears. And then I had found this cute little thing I'll be showing you later in my thrift haul. And the glass always looks pretty up against anything. And then I found another one of those little pictures that I forgot I had. I was walking past a table the other day and I thought, well, there's another one of those pictures that I, of course, thrifted. And it had some dried roses in it, so I set it up there. And I found this cute little thing. It's going to be shown here in a few minutes at the Restore. A beautiful little ramekin that's a little different than most ramekins. And so, yeah, I stuck one of my Hobby Lobby orange roses up there, and I found this at TJ Maxx. It's called Apple Spice Cleaner by Sand and Fog, and on Amazon it's $16 a bottle, and TJ Maxx has it for $4.99. Now, this is the platter that I keep my dish soap and my little scrubby on in the summertime. I change it all the time. Sometimes I use a rose platter, but this is what's been on it lately. And so I went and looked through my platters and decided to change it out for fall. And I went ahead and found one that had like a flow blue design. It's a really old platter, and I thought it looked really pretty. It's bigger. It takes up a little bit more room on my counter, and sometimes I have some extra scrubbies laying there and some hand lotion. And this one has some real dark discoloration, which I love. That just shows me that it's very old and it's been well used, but it's really pretty. And then, of course, I had another flow blue platter that I tried. It had a little bit less flow blue around the edge, but it's a smaller platter, so I think it's the one I'm going to go with. It doesn't matter one bit, but this is just the little things that I like. And of course, I have to be all extra and add some flowers and greenery to it. But this is my window, and there is a strand of lights back there because even in the daytime it looks really pretty with the lights lit up. And I go to Hobby Lobby and they have these big roses, and they're like $2.99, maybe $3.99, but I get them when they're on sale, so I always pick up the orange ones when I see them. But it looks real pretty when you're standing there washing dishes, and it looks pretty from the living room because you can see through that big window, and I just enjoy it. It's a lot of little pieces of pretty for my kitchen window, and even in the daytime, the one little strand of 35 lights really brightens it up. Now, I love the tray on my kitchen table that has all the rose petals that fell when I was drying my roses, and my little bird. He looks good all year round, so I just leave him out. And believe it or not, this pumpkin is from last year. It will not rot. I don't know why, but it's still good. So it's my first pumpkin of the year that I'm setting out. Although it's been sitting out in my kitchen all year, I put it on the table today. And I know I showed you recently some lace that I crocheted pieces that I got at the thrift store for like nothing. I decided I'm not really a lace person, but I started at the top of my primitive tree that I've got decorated for fall with my pears and my roses and my little baskets. And I just trailed that through, and basically what I was trying to do was hide the green cords and the plug-ins from the lights. And there's another one of my Hobby Lobby roses, and I just kind of tucked them in. And this is a fabric that is one curtain panel that I absolutely love. I use it for a tablecloth a lot, and I tucked it in where the red and white tablecloth had been before, at the bottom of my little primitive tree in the corner of my living room. And I went ahead and left my little dried roses in there because they look fine for fall. And if you guys haven't started doing this, please go out and find you some hydrangeas and put them in a basket. Don't put them in water or anything. Just put them in a basket. These are going on 3 years, guys, and they still look fantastic. The only thing is, every now and then I'll bump up against them. These are hanging on the side of my mustard cabinet, and they'll drop a few petals, but they last forever. I sprayed them with a clear sealer, and that may have helped. And here I've tucked a Hobby Lobby rose in. But get you some hydrangeas. They last forever. Now, this is one of the pears that I made. You know how I love my pears. This is a dried pear. It's actually a fake pear, but it looks like a dried pear. And this is my whole tree with the pears and the apples and the little baskets, and this is before I tuck the roses in. But look at these pears. That's why I love pears so much. I love all fruit, but these pears on the plates and everything I tend to pick up and gravitate towards when I'm thrifting. And I remember finding this little plate one time, and it just tucks behind a little bouquet in my kitchen, and I can see it when I'm washing dishes, and I just love it. And then you saw me have this little plastic $1 thrifted frame, and I found a $1 canvas with pears on it, and I framed that up, and it's hanging by my front door right above my bar cart. Well, I love pears so much, and you know, I found that bag or a couple bags at Hobby Lobby recently, and so I've got a lot of pears. I was so excited in Restore the other day when I found these. They are bookends, and they're pears, and they're real heavy, and they sit on this real stable base. And I just grabbed them up. I didn't care what they cost. I had to have them, and they were $2 a piece, and they are, to me, magnificent. I love them, and I knew exactly what I was going to do with them, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit. But let's look at a few thrifted things before I show you my magnificent pears. I saw a lot of pretty blue things in Restore that day. I didn't buy a lot because I was so excited about my pears. I just wanted to get home and work on them. But this was a really good quality piece of cobalt. I passed on this dish because they had like $25 on it. I thought this was beautiful for fall, but I have a lot of fall glass pieces, and this was marked pretty high. And then, I don't know what's wrong with these people. They had these marked $50 a piece. Yes, $50 a piece. I thought they were all beautiful. They had they had a lot of tarnished silver. I think they had about 15 pieces like this with the intricate little cutouts. And I always gravitate towards those kind of pieces. I love them, especially this. I have one of these. They had $20 on this little tea strainer that wasn't even pretty. I mean, it was pretty. Don't get me wrong. I like the tarnished. But usually they're cleaner than that, and they're $1 or $2. But this one was in bad shape. It even had some pits in it. For $20, I thought they've lost their minds. Now, these are some that I picked up at Sherry's rummage sale, and that big fork I picked up at somewhere, and I never give more than $2 for them. Usually 50 cents, $1, $2, I pick them up. And I know in antique stores there are a lot more, but I thrift. And I picked this up at the Restore for like $1.50 not too long ago, and I'm still not sure exactly what it is. I'm thinking a little pie lifter maybe. I'm not real sure. But I don't know where they got the idea that those are all worth $50 because they're not. But I love them anyway. And then I spotted this little crystal pitcher, and it's real heavy, and I picked it up, and I thought, well, like I need another little crystal pitcher, but my goodness, it's so beautiful and heavy. And like I said, I use them to water my plants around the kitchen, and I like them. I like them with matches in them, toothpicks, whatever. I looked inside, and it was only 50 cents. So, of course, I had to have that. Then I saw this cute little ramekin, kind of vintage looking. I had never seen a ramekin like this with roses imprinted on the side. Well, you know, I had to have that to sit in my kitchen window and gaze at every day. I really do get a lot of enjoyment out of this, you guys. And then I was looking down the aisle, and every aisle had tons of crystal and glass. I was kind of overwhelmed, and that's my thing. My friend Sherry, she doesn't like clear glass, and she tells me that all the time. But she brings me pieces of it, and nobody really likes it but me. So I had a big choice. Then in their textiles, they had one curtain panel, and it's from Walmart, but it's black and taupe, and it is gorgeous. And I picked it up immediately. It was $1 because they only had one panel for a tablecloth. And then I got to thinking someday my sons are going to have their own places, their own houses. They have apartments now. That would make a gorgeous tablecloth on a man's dining room table. But my boys both would be totally against it. And believe it or not, I don't have any dishes that really go with this except ironstone. But it was a gorgeous piece of fabric. And so I could always make pillows or something for my sons later on. But I had to get that for $1. It's beautiful. And then I found this tablecloth for $1, and it's just the typical Walmart tablecloth, but it's orange on orange, kind of shiny in places. It was in great shape. It's the huge one, like 84 inches long. I put this plate with it. I thought it looked real pretty, but here's the fabulous one. I got two rust-colored curtain panels for $4. Guys, these are the most beautiful, thick linen, gorgeous rust color. This is the best picture I could get of the color curtain panels, and I cannot wait to hang them in my dining room. But I've got those gold ones hanging there right now, so I'm going to have to switch them out. But for $4, these fabulous two panels, it's just almost too much. So here's pair my pair of bookends. This is what they look like when I got them home. They looked a little warmer when I got them home. They were really pale in the store, but I still knew what I wanted to do with them. So I took them in to see. They've just got a texture to them. They're just fabulous, but they're just one solid color, and the leaves were kind of blah. So I took them into my studio and I started to paint them. The one on the first one is painted, and as you can see, I put some orange and some green and some deeper gold, and it's not a real big change, and in this light you can't really tell, but when I got them all done, they looked really pretty. They just looked a little bit more like a pear. And I put them on the table in my living room and couldn't really decide where I was going to put them. Then I cleaned off my mantle and thought they deserve to be on the mantle. And then I thought, do I put the leaves facing forward or the leaves facing off to the side? And either way looked great, but it looked better with the leaves facing forward. And I also painted the leaves a little bit and gave them a little bit more dimension. I wanted to give the pears a little more dimension. And once I got them up there and put some old books between them, I really loved them. I loved them anyway. So they're my little piece of purdy for the house this week. And I'm in love with them. I couldn't even believe that I found them. And here's a picture without the bright light on it, showing a little bit of the green. You can't really see it in the pictures, but it shows up a lot in person, and they're just dreamy, and they're real heavy, and they're not going to fall over. And then of course, when you do something on the mantle, you got to clean everything. So I cleaned all my crystal, cleaned my mantle, and yes, I have a strand of lights back there because I keep a lot of crystal on and cake stands on my mantle all year round, and then just change and put a few, Easter eggs or a little Christmas or a little fall, whatever season it is. And this is what it looks like after it all got cleaned up, and I had put my bookends up there. And I have to stack, and I don't like the cords showing back there, so usually there's a piece of greenery back there, but I was cleaning and I took it down. And then at the Dollar Tree the other day, I found these two kind of not orange, but kind of a peachy, deep peach colored candle. You got two candles for $1.25, and I thought, what the heck, I'll take a chance on these cheap candles. I brought them home and I burned them, and they burned forever. They didn't even hardly go down, and they were called bougie candles. I thought they were really pretty. And then I told you last week that I got some votive cups out of the free bin. Now, our free bin is only at one little mission. We don't have free bins all over the place. Some of you say you don't have those. But I pick these up when I see them because they look really pretty on their own outside. And if they break, they're free or cheap. And I put this one on my new candlestick that had the strawberries on it. I didn't have a candle in it. And then this is another one I got recently out of the free bin. And they can't get rid of them. There's always a ton of them. So I hope you enjoyed this short video. I'll come back with a bigger one later. You can join me on Instagram at MarcyJo631. I'm trying to post some shorts and some reels and draw in some more subscribers. And I'm having a lot of fun just adding a little pinch of fall here and there, making my friends mad because they're not ready for it. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe because I have a treat for you. I'm going down to Vintage Relics and see what's in their store. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I can't wait to see you again.